Joining us from Paris is Simone Rodin-Benzakin. She is director of the American Jewish Committee office in Paris. Simone, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me on.
The kosher market killings are just the latest in some very ominous events for Jews in France. What can you tell us about those who were killed and why the terrorists chose this market?
What can I tell you about those who were killed? They were regular French Jewish people who were just on a Friday afternoon, in order to prepare Shabbat, went to basically food shopping, and were killed because they were Jewish and had the unfortunate, were not lucky enough and were just basically shopping. It's just absolutely terrible, and the entire community, the entire nation is totally destroyed.
Do you know why they chose this particular market?
No, we don't. It's not the first anti-Semitic attack, obviously, but we don't know at all why this particular market. It seems now there are some rumors and coming from, a few days before, the same shooter killed a policewoman. And now there are questions arise whether he killed this policewoman because he thought she was protecting a nearby Jewish school. So he was basically targeting Jewish sites.
France has had enough trouble with radical Islamists that many were predicting something like this. Do you expect the government will take a tougher line now?
Yes, I believe we do. I believe they will. I actually hope they will. The reality is that the government has taken this already relatively seriously. Only a few months ago, the government passed an anti-jihad law in the French parliament. The government, the prime minister, just gave a speech at the parliament where he clearly stated that he wants new recommendations from the Minister of Interior in order to reinforce the arsenal in order to be able to combat this very, very dangerous threat to our society.
How can the government there protect the people, and especially Jews, as they go about their daily lives?
Well, they have already started to do this. The government has deployed more than 7,000 policemen on Jewish sites. It has reinforced security in front of Jewish schools, in front of synagogues. But it can't be enough. It can't only be that. If the perspective for the outlook for the Jewish community is to be basically living in some sort of prison, it can't be. This can't be a future. So it's obviously important. It's obviously reassuring for the Jewish community, but it can't be only that. Much more needs to be done. There need to be very clear measures that need to be taken in terms of counter-radicalization, in terms of working in prisons, because our prisons have become universities for jihad, in terms of also the education that we are doing in schools, and very profound questions that are being asked about our society in terms of integration, in terms of also the place that Islam is taking in our society, and basically making sure that French Muslims also can speak out against what is happening within their own community.
Israeli leaders have made it clear that French Jews are welcome in Israel. Simone, do you think many French and European Jews will decide it's time to leave?
It really depends on where we take it from now. There are definitely questions. I don't think I know one single Jew who doesn't ask himself or herself the question whether they have a future here in France. I, for my part, certainly are. I'm a mother of 2 children. I would not be a responsible parent if I didn't ask myself that question. But it really will depend on what the answer is. If the situation is exactly the same 1 year, 2 years from now, then I fear that the outlook for Jews in France, but actually for France in general, and probably even symbolically for democracies in the Western world, is very grim.
After 9/11, many Americans said this changes everything, but after a short time, not much had changed. Do you think that will be the case in France?
I'm not a fortune teller. We in our organization at AJC have been pressing the government. I think there is a very great understanding now that something needs to be done. I hope that the country will take the momentum. I don't know what will happen. I certainly hope, and we will be working with the government, working towards that. They know what is at stake. They know that it is basically the entire country that is at stake, our values that are at stake, everything France has fought for, freedom of expression, liberty, fraternity, equality, all of these values France's republic stands for are totally at risk. So I sincerely hope that this is going to change. And we at AJC will definitely be working in that sense.
Okay, Simone Rodin-Benzakin of the American Jewish Community Office in Paris. Thanks for your time, Simone.
Thank you very much for having me on.